Hello, hello, it's Carrie with Lemmy Fox Jewelry and Art. I'm back with my Nancy Drew Hardy Boys tutorial on how I made my journals. Today I'm going to be showing you my process on culling the book pages and getting them ready to be put into the signatures. For this project, I plan on putting in 2 signatures with 4 total sheets of book pages. I'm going to need to pick out 16 total pages from the book. So I already know that I would like to have these pages. I'm going to very carefully take them off. Okay. I like to have the pictures. I like to put these pictures into the book. So I'm going to take this first page. As you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure to be very gentle and take the pages out very carefully. I like to find as many of the pictures as I possibly can as I'm going through this process, and I do make sure to keep my pages in order because I will be putting them in the books and have them be in order. In the interest of time, I'm fast forwarding through this process, but you can see that what I'm doing is I'm taking out all of the pictures that I find in the pages. So I'm flipping through and finding all of the pages that are pages with pictures as I possibly can, but also taking pages in between. And I just take up large blocks of the book and pick random pages. Besides picking the pages with the pictures, I do like to find pages that have like space on the bottom or space on the sides that can be really written on, so that this is a functional journal for people to really use, besides being able to read the vintage pages in the book. Of course, as you're doing your own project, you're welcome to take any pages that you see fit, but this is the way that I do my kind of culling out of my books and do my process. You will notice that as I'm doing this, I do stack my pages in pairs. That helps me to remember how many pages that I have so that I can keep track of how many more I need to get. Here we are, the last of the book. I am taking out the last picture, and I do like getting the very back page that says the end so that you can kind of read the end of the book, and that's kind of a fun little thing to do. That is me culling out the books. Now we are going to work on the pages. For this part, I'm going to need to get my cutter. I'm going to work with each set separately, of course, because we don't want them to get mixed up. I'm going to separate these into 2 groups. Because I'm making 2 signatures, I need them to be separated into 2 groups. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to take the first 8. So here's my first 8. I'm going to set those aside like that. And I've got this second set of 8. Let's work with the first set of 8. I don't want to confuse anybody. This is going to be the first page of my signatures. That's going to be the first page. However, I don't want this to be the last of this signature. So if I put these 2 pages together, this page would be the last of the signatures. And I want this to be the next book page that we have. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this first page and I'm going to take the last page in this stack and I'm going to put these two together. I'm going to set these to the side like this. I'm going to do the same thing with the next set of pages. So I'm going to take the second page and I'm going to take the last page. Okay? Is this making sense to you? Hopefully. Okay? Then I'm going to go with the next page and the last page on the stack. And these two pages are going to be, these are going to be the ones together. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with these pages. So I'm going to take my front page and my back page. Okay, and I'm going to set them exactly like that. Front page and back page. Front page and back page. This is how, and then of course we have these two that are together. So now I've done that. So I've sorted these guys. The reason why I need my paper cutter is because I do need to trim off a little bit. I'm going to trim off just the barest little hint off of here. Sorry, I got to get my brain on straight today. So actually, let's see. I do still kind of want to keep these guys separate. Okay. Because whatever I do with the first one of these, I need to do with the first one of this. So I kind of need to pair these guys together when I'm cutting. The first set of books that I did was the Nancy Drew books. And then I learned this trick when I was doing the Hardy Boy books. So stick with me here. You can do this any way you want. You could just make these into signatures and cut off the edges this way instead of doing it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these two together. I'm just taking off the edge. It's really about a little bit, what is it, 15/16, 4 15/16, or around, or 4 7/8. Either way is good. I'm just taking off just the barest hint of this just to even it up, really. So that's what I'm taking off. Okay. Then I'm going to set these aside in their own little groups. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the next set of pages. I'm going to take these two. These are the bottom half. These are the top half. Sorry, I hope that I'm not confusing. I can be a confusing person. Just ask my kids. They tell me that all of the time. And I'm going to equal these out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to 4 7/8. I don't know if you noticed, but as you stack your signatures together, your pages start to kind of shift. Kind of gets thicker and thicker, and it pushes the pages out and out. So in order to prevent that from happening, I'm doing it this way. So before I cut the barest inch of the barest little part off, like this is how much came off. Now I'm cutting this down to 4 7/8. And so I'm going to take off a little bit more. You can see this is a little bit more than this. Okay. So that's the second set of pages. Now I'm doing the next little bunch. I'm going to take these two pages and these two pages, and I'm going to take off a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to go down to 4 3/4. Actually, I'm taking about 1/8 of an inch off each. as I go. Okay, that's definitely more than that. Okay, so now we were at 4 3/4. We're going to go down. So I'm just going to go down a 1/16 of an inch-ish. So you can see the graduation, basically. Now I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to do, now these guys are fixed. I'll go ahead and put them back like this and set them aside and work on the Hardy Boy book. In the interest of time, I decided to kind of fast forward through this a little bit. I'm doing the same process that I did with the Nancy Drew books. I did find out when I was going through that I had culled out less pages for the Hardy Boy book. I did make sure to order the pages just as I did in the Nancy Drew book, bringing the page forward in each signature. So I set it up in 2 signatures and made it so that I could have the front and back just like I did. And I went ahead and cut the pieces in a graduating way just as I did the Nancy Drew books. So I started with taking a little bit and then taking a little bit more in the next series of pages. That's these guys all prepped and ready. So I'm going to go ahead and set these inside of their books for now. I recorded this video before I decided to do the 3rd book. So this was all done for that book off camera. Because the next part in prepping the pages is gathering together the pages we're going to use in the books. Make sure to catch me in the next video where we will be taking these pages and making them ready to go into our Nancy Drew and Hardy Boy books. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.